You are now listening to Love and War, the male and female perspective of love, life, and relationships in the 21st century, with your host, Crystal Francis. You are now listening to Love and War, the male and female perspective of love.
What's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning into another episode of Love and War. I'm your host, Dr. Francis, and today we are going to be talking about the 10th date. Now, before we jump into the topic, we're going to do like we always do and say what's up to the panel tonight. First out the gate, let's make some good trouble. Theo Jones.
What's up? How are you doing? We got a little preview of what spring's gonna look like in 2 weeks because this week's gonna be cold. And anybody get their stimmy? I don't got mine. Anybody stimmy drop?
Well, we're not going to talk about stimmies because unfortunately I'm above the tax bracket, so I'm not getting one. I didn't get one last time. Won't be seeing one this time. So shout out to all the people.
That's why I'm trying to make friends that's getting one because I'm not getting one. I'm trying to find somebody to do though.
Look, can someone give me a piece of that stimmy? I'm including the person who was residing here. Showtime. How you doing tonight, sir? Are retirees getting stimmies?
Down over here. I ain't getting no stimmy either. I don't even give a flying fruit fantasy, to be honest with you. But all is well, man. This has been it was a very productive weekend. I am moving forward and learning more about the stock market. I've been taking time in that for the last 72 hours, just focusing in life on that and trying to build, more generational wealth for my family and for the last name. My slogan is always grind for your last name, not your first.
Come on here, sir. I know that's right. Stock market.
Just trying to learn as much as I can.
Awesome. I'm going to give a plug, shout out to all of, before you can even participate in the stock market, the financial advisors say that you become debt-free. So for all of you out there who are swarming in student loan debt, credit card debt, or have a piss poor credit score, I want you to do this. Go to the D-Free Academy. I'm going to drop the link in the chat for those who are here, but I also read the whole website out. It is a free program to help you become debt-free. They also talk about investing and what kind of stocks to invest in, so you start building generational wealth using, putting away money that is compounded interest between 8 to 12%, and watch your money triple, quadruple. And so I'm gonna put the link in the chat for that. It's free, FREE. Shout out to TW on the mic tonight. How you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing all right. If you want to figure out who got a stimmy or not, just go to Facebook because, everybody's putting their business out. I'm saying, what are we doing? Don't go on vacation and let us know because somebody can easily break into your home. I'm just saying, everybody's like, ooh, got my stimmy today. Okay. Y'all crazy. Really?
Right.
Are y'all going to tell us when you get your paycheck too? I'm just saying.
Right. Which Friday you get paid? Nah.
What's it? 1,400? That's not even like a full check.
Some people aren't even making that.
If they got kids, they bringing.
So I need to find somebody that got like 5 kids. We going to Bermuda.
You petty. Anyway, I'm not fooling with y'all tonight. So the 10th date. So this concept out here. There are so many dating rules. The topic should really be about dating rules, period. But I want to talk about this. It's not a rule. What it is a concept, an ideology, or thought process that if a female, yes, the female, makes it to 10 or more dates with the same guy, that her potential for engaging in a long-term, successful, committed relationship that is probably going to lead to whatever that couple's goal is, marriage, children. Some people don't want to get married, they want to build a family. The likelihood of that increases when she's made it to the 10th or more date with the same consistent guy. Now, this topic is to be debated. You know, I don't know the how true it is. I mean, for me, I can tell you that if I go out with somebody, and this is not a friendship, this is date, meaning I'm dating you, you're dating me, we're dating to get to know each other, that by the time we get to the 10th date, if not sooner, because some people don't need 10 days to figure out just the person they want to engage in a committed relationship with, that the likelihood is going to increase. The thought process behind it is that men know what they want quicker. And so if he isn't feeling you, you're never going to get to 10 dates with him. He's going to cut you off on date 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 because he's not feeling something about you. And the same just can be said by a woman, depending on what kind of woman, because you do have people who are desperate and they'll be willing to take anything just for the sake of being with someone. So let's approach it from the male's perspective first. Showtime with your arms crossed. If someone makes it to 10 dates with you, and you're a man, what does that say for? Is she in the running for some success? Because you seem like the type of guy that if a chick walks up to you on date 1 and something's off, you ain't even fitting to sit down with her to have the date 1. So tell me about your thought process.
Well, let me check if I'm a man first. I'm still a man. So with that being said, you're absolutely right. I'm the type of person where as though one-off thing, I'm that dude, I'm going to the restroom, I'll be right back.
And don't come back.
You not the food. You know what I mean? I might even pay for the food and just dip, you know? So certain things, it's not going to
crack it up.
It's not going to take me 10 dates to know, you know? I think when a person is setting any type of guideline on anything, it's usually when they're looking for something to mess up. They're looking for a reason not to move forward. When you enter things with a clear mindset and you're like, look, this is where I want to go, this is how I'm trying to move. If you're clear with your intentions off the rip, it doesn't take 10 dates because you already know, like, look, this is what I'm trying to pursue. This is my age. This is what I'm trying to build a family. Like I met a woman, she said she was 40 years old and she's been focused on her career and she's about to retire.
Military? Police. Okay.
She's about to retire. She took the 20-year, she came in as like a cadet.
Yeah.
Took the 20-year thing. So she said she retired, like she put her paperwork in September. So she's trying to retire, but she took all her life to just focus on her career. And now she's talking about, I'm ready to start a family. Not at 40.
Just at 40.
I'm not having no baby, nobody that's 40 years old, 42, 43, and you want 2, 3 babies. Oh, no, sir. Now I'm not doing that one. You know, once you over 35, things start changing. So for me, things start changing. You know, different things set in with kids that I don't even want to have yet, a little special shit. But again, you gotta realize I have a 19-year-old son. So for me to take on that responsibility and starting all over again.
Yeah, okay.
Do I want to have babies?
Right, you done.
So you remove yourself from that situation. You don't go on 9 more dates. You don't play with anybody's feelings or emotions because sometimes we waste each other's time because we're trying to find out who we are. If that person tell you up front, I mean, people are during the pandemic, I think this is the most that we have been open and honest with each other because people are like, look, man, that COVID knocking people out. I'm gonna keep it 100.
I don't got time to waste.
So that being said, I think it's been more honesty.
Mask making your ears coming through.
So if I get to 10 days with you, we already in a relationship. Because realistically, I probably spend over $3,000 on them 10 dates. Because every date is about.
Where are you taking folk?
Every day.
Do the math, Theo. 10 times 10.
Look, if you do 20 times 10, that's 1,000. You spend more of that in gas. You see, I factor everything in when it's time to date.
Gas, parking, mileage.
Like if I gotta go to Northern Virginia to get you or to see you, oh yeah, that count too. Take me $65 to fill my truck up. Yeah, that count. You know, and a nice date is about $150 to $200. Just a nice date.
It is. Even if you have to eat, you spend if drinks are involved.
Women don't like going to Fridays.
DC, it's like $12 a drink.
I like Fridays. I like simple stuff. I'm not, women don't like that. You got to go above and beyond what she taking me here for. So now I'm not a serial dater. So I'm not dating 10 women.
Right.
I'm dating one. So no, if I'm dating you and we going out multiple times, you the one.
Theo, you over there cracking up, boy.
Nah, I was laughing at Showtime. I was trying to look this little 10-date rule thing up. I mean, I guess if you get to 10, but dating, I mean, I could be dating multiple people, like 1, 2 people. What if I get to 10 and I get the other person at 9? Do I gotta wait and say, hold up, let me get to 10 with this person and figure out what I'm gonna do? Or is it just people drop off when they do? Like 10 dates, it's a lot. That's a lot of dates.
It is.
So I'm saying, I guess if you put that time in, you put in thought, unless you're double dipping on dates, like taking the same girls to the same things, it's a lot of thought process. But I just think people are putting too much thought into it. Just don't count the dates. Just go ahead. And if the guy likes you, he'll let you know.
Yeah, and I think, so this one's for you, TW. So like, do you think that you should know who that person is in 10 dates? Or do you think that like Theo, Theo was saying don't count the dates, but Showtime was saying, shoot, I already know by 10 dates. Do you think that you know who someone is? Now, like, I'm not talking about someone who you've known and then you decide to date, but if it's like a straight up stranger that you meet, can you get to know the real person in 10 dates? Or does it require more time than that? I mean, you may know enough, or do you know enough to say whether or not you want to continue pursuing them?
I think it really depends on the person. Like Showtime, I'm upfront. It's the Virgo in us. I'm just saying. So you know if somebody's putting on or not. So if somebody is putting on a facade, you call them out about it. So you'll know whether first, second, or third date. So then you're like, sorry, I'm not going to waste my time or yours. Because one thing my dad used to always say, don't start something you can't continue. So people can put on this image in 10 dates and then date 11, you like, wait a minute, Jekyll Hyde. So, I mean, you can't, like Theo said, you can't really count the dates, but you got to really look at the intentionality behind the date. So what does that connection look like? Do you have chemistry? Are you able to have a conversation? Because you could go on 10 dates and there's no substance. Now what after date number 10? So you really got to look at the investment, the totality of the date. What does that look like? Is there a thought process behind it, or are we just doing something to kind of, keep score or check the box? So you got to really look at it like that too.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I think people just, just like to have dating rules. So they say, 10th date. Because truth be told, heck, you might get to the 10th date and I might say, you know what? This really solidified. I don't like you. You can get to the 10th date and I decide, no, this is where we stop. So I agree with Theo. Don't put the number on the date. It really just get to know the person. And like Showtime was saying, it don't take all that. Like when people know what they want, they're going to be able to tell date 1, 2, and 3 if you're the person for them. And if you get to date 4 and 5, that's only because they just try and double check. Yeah or no. So since people have these rules, I mean, why do you think people have these dating rules anyway, Showtime? Like, why do you think people come up with these crazy rules?
I think people come with these rules mainly because the uncertainty that they have with who they are and what they want. There should be no rules in dating other than I'll be honest with you, I'll be true to you, and let you know where I'm trying to go. Other than that, like Theo said, just let it flow, just let it go. Because at the end of the day, when you start putting too many rules on anything, and that's just life, that's anything. You like, if we wouldn't stay in most of our careers if we had all these rules over our head. We like this, that's too much. Let's just let things just happen. Let things, when a person wants to be in your life, they'll show you. I have a habit of pushing people away. Because I tell you up front what the fuck I want. And they be scared. Like, oh, wait a minute. I wasn't ready for that one. Because sometimes my aggressiveness and me knowing, I know what a great woman is because I've had the model in front of me. I know when I see a woman that has this certain motherly, abilities that can resonate to my kids. So it's like, I could rock with her. I can see how she treats her other, her nephews, nieces, or her children. I can see how her role is in her families. So it doesn't take me a lot to pay attention. But again, like my Virgo twin says, we pay attention to the small things. It's not always what you say, it's what you're doing that I pay attention to. So I already know, like, yeah, I can rock with her. So then me being Mr. Overly Aggressive, look, I'm telling you right now, you're the only woman I'm dating, only woman I want to see, me and you rocking out. They'd be like, wait a minute, hold up. Nigga, I'm too young for this. So I'm 35 years old, 34 years old. Like you pushing that buck too fast for me. I just want to enjoy life. But at the end of the day, my purpose of enjoying life is enjoying it with someone else.
Right, because you already lived life. You had a different point in your life.
That's messed up. I've already lived life. You got me 1 foot in the grave.
Sorry. I thought about it afterwards.
I got another good 60 in me. Damn, Dr. Francis. Shit. How about you live your life? You ready to sit on the porch and drink lemonade.
I got your obituary already printed out. What color you want?
I'm done. She'd have hurt my foot. I'm about to pull me some head.
This is for my homies. You about Easter. Theo. Same question. Why do people create crazy dating rules?
Because their dating life isn't working. So they try to come up with something. The reason why it's not working is because I didn't wait 10 dates, or I slept with them before 90 days. That's what Steve already said.
Yeah.
So, they just come, it's not looking at themselves and saying, all right, let me look at me, what's going on, or let me get myself right before, or let me stop dating dudes that I know that aren't good for me. So they can come up with these rules, so it's not their fault. It's I didn't follow the rule. Oh, I didn't see this. It's a really 11-day rule. Oh, I thought it was 10 dates. Nah, they just coming up with something and they'll latch on to anything, so it's not their fault.
Okay, TW.
Yeah, Theo took mine. I was going to say they're more so looking outward instead of inward. A lot of times when people don't really want to focus on self or really do the heart work, as I call it, really figuring out what is it that's going on, they kind of try to place blame or shift focus elsewhere. And so it's just kind of like, oh, well, you know how when we were younger, if you step on the crack, you break your mother's back. So they probably was like, oh, maybe I stepped on too many of those. Like, people just kind of make up different hallucinations in their mind as to why, certain relationships or situationships didn't work out. And I'm like, why don't you just like look in the mirror and figure out what you want? A lot of times people don't know what they want. So they just kind of make up different security blankets or safety nets to figure out how to navigate the dating lifestyle. So I just think really knowing who you are and knowing what you want would be helpful instead of trying to go to social media or other people or other outlets to dictate or determine what your dating scene looks like.
Yeah, and I agree. I mean, I think, when people start implementing these rules, their focus is so much on the actual rule and they lose the sight of just enjoying the relationship. Oh my God, this is date 6. Oh, this is date 7. But what are you getting? Because the whole time you worrying about, oh, let me get to date 8. But are you really on date 8 with the person who's for you? Because you're spending so much time on the rule that you're not even paying attention most of the time to whether or not the person in front of you is the one for you. And then that also goes hand in hand with individuals who, I do believe that you might meet somebody on the first date. And if you're a stranger, one date is not enough for me. It's going to take me some time to get to know you, not just from dates, but through communication, conversation, figuring out who you are, how you live as a person. And sometimes I feel like people can move too fast and make decisions and not really figure out or spend the quality time that is necessary to really truly figure out who that person is. I know a couple of people who went onto this like date, their dating rule was real crazy. It wasn't even really a rule. It was, oh, I'm going to go on Zoosh or eHarmony because most of my friends were married within a year. So I'm going to get married. So I'm going to go on here because these people did it. And they go on these apps. They end up getting married within the year. And then next year they're divorced. Because they were so worried about yielding the same results that somebody else yielded. You don't know what that person had to go through. You don't know what's happening behind closed doors. So, the rules I think end up happening because you have one person who met success with this formula, and then somebody develops a rule like this works for everyone. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. So with that said, let's do our little round robin on final words of advice tonight for the folks who are out in these streets trying to figure out what's enough quality time that needs to be spent before I can really determine if you're the one for me. And that answer is going to be different for the person, because at the end of the day, you have to soul search and you have to do the work. And you Googling, how many dates do I need to be on to meet before I get married, is not going to be the resolution for you. It may have worked for someone else, but it's not going to work for you. Final words of advice. Let's start with TW.
Stop trying to emulate somebody else's lifestyle and do what works best for you. At the end of the day, whatever decision you make, you got to be okay with it. And so if you're trying to live somebody else's lifestyle or trying to walk in their shadow, I hope you are able to also come with the heartache and hardships and everything else that comes with it. So be true to you, know yourself, know what you want. And so that way you know what you're getting yourself into.
Theo Jones.
I'm going to say pay attention more what happens between the dates and then the amount of dates. Because I could just want some company when I'm going out and you always free. So that could be the case right there. So pay attention to what I'm doing between the dates. Am I calling you? Am I texting you? Am I communicating? Are we getting to know each other? If I'm just inviting you out every other Friday, it's because I know you're free and I just want some company. And you might be giving me a little dessert afterwards. That might be the real thing.
Facts. Show.
Well, stay in your lane. Don't try and recreate what others have you said has worked for them. Your path to love and happiness is going to be your path. It's going to be your story. We sometimes look at Hollywood and we look at everyone else's success stories on how they work. Steve Harvey and all his rules and his stuff is more effed up than anything. But people follow what he said and he's made millions off of it. No hate, just facts. Know what you want. Be true and transparent. If you upfront with a person, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna get the same thing back. I've been in situations where someone has been 100% honest with me, and I might only been 60%. Why was I 60%? Because I was guarded. Because sometimes as men, we can't always be 100. If we as men become 100, most of you women would not even deal with us. But it's okay for the woman to be in 100. You get what I'm saying? We have to accept you for who you are. So when I say that, try your best to find the person that is being honest with you, that's being open with you, and don't stay off the internet. The internet is not the answer to love. The way that you'll truly find love is through proper communication to the person you're dating. So just do you, do it what works for you. You might be on a 5th date. By the 10th date, you might be married, and you might be happy for the next 30, 40 years. So don't put caps on certain things. Just keep everything enter it with an open mind, open heart, and everything else should work.
All right, y'all. I already said my final words of advice. So I just want to thank you all for tuning into another episode of Love and War. You can do like you always do. Check out our archive shows. We're live on YouTube. Share it.
And War. I'm your host, Crystal Francis. Don't forget to tune in next week, Mondays, 8 to 8:30 p.m.